What is a game? What is elimination? We need a statement. Statement. Explain. There needs to be an explanation. More and more people marched, blocking the city center of Suzhou. There were also some who tried to see if they could get any benefits from this. Despite the armed police warning them off, they used the advantage in numbers and refused to leave. They would cling to the white wall and even break it. Such scenarios occurred all over the world. China was very good. Before the Black Tower incident, the country was very stable and had strong cohesion and control. In some poor and weak countries, especially those where the government deterrence was very weak, the Black Tower is a danger group occupied the government on the first day. The Black Tower is God and it will lead us to a new century. The time of the Black Tower is coming. My great and only master, please give us the strength of new life. Grant us strength. Thousands of people knelt in front of the Black Tower, yearning for a new and better century. Tang Mo didn't know these things. He held a black explosion-proof stick in his hand. Despite his clothes being very thin, his forehead was covered with fine sweat. The clear voice of the child sang the nursery rhyme. Once it finished, the loud and ethereal voice echoed in the empty library for a long time. Did you hear it? Tang Mo barely spoke the words through gritted teeth. The huckster was lying scared on the ground, his messy hair blocking his eyes. When he looked up, Tang Mo could only see a pair of eyes trembling with fear. The huckster was so frightened that he couldn't even speak. He got up and shrank back into a wall, holding his head with trembling hands and saying, What is that thing? Tang Mo didn't know. There was no sound in the library after the nursery rhyme ended. Tang Mo gradually calmed down. Some people would be at a loss when encountering big events and panic. Tang Mo was the opposite. Tang Mo was an extremely sensible person. 5 years ago, his parents were in a car accident and died. This was when he had just entered university and someone else might have broken down. Tang Mo managed the two people's funeral in an orderly manner. It was only after everything was handled that he secretly cried and began to consider his future. Despite his quick heartbeat and feeling of anxiety in the past 2 days, he now found himself calmer than ever. Tang Mo held the stick in his right hand and used a thick book from the G-shelf as a shield. Then he approached the window. Outside the window was just white. This was a window on the east side of the library. Normally, he could see the main street of Suzhou and several famous ancient gardens from here. Tang Mo gripped the stick even tighter. He seemed calm but he was always alert to everything around him. Every time he passed a bookshelf, he was ready to fight back. He looked at the windows on the southeast and northwest of the third floor of the library before returning to his original spot. We aren't in Suzhou anymore. The huckster huddled in the wall corner and looked at Tang Mo with horror. Tang Mo didn't want to explain. However, he bitterly said, We are surrounded by a blank space, but this really is the library. It is probably similar to the library being moved to a big blank room. I have been working here for a year and looked at the help desk. My colleague's glass of water is still on the table, exactly like the library. The huckster seemed to realize he wasn't alone after Tang Mo's words and found the courage to stand up. He looked around and suddenly said, This is the book I hid in here last week. Tang Mo followed the direction of his finger. I was afraid the book would be borrowed and hid it in the gap between two bookshelves. Tang Mo, he was the one who originally did it. In any case, Tang Mo was a librarian in this library and the huckster was a regular visitor. If both people confirmed that this was the library, it was certainly true. Tang Mo took the huckster to the security cabinet and pulled out another explosion-proof stick. Right now, everything was unknown. The stick would help the huckster protect himself and he could also be a helper if the two people encountered any danger. The two men had just arrived at the help desk when the sound of footsteps was heard from the bookshelves deep on the third floor. The huckster's eyes widened with fright while Tang Mo also started sweating. He had just been there and seen no one. Who did these footsteps belong to? The two men clutched the security sticks and stared carefully in front of them, their backs against the wall. The sound got closer and it was very irregular. It was like a child skipping on the ground. 30 seconds later, a small shadow appeared from between a bookshelf. It was a little girl with double ponytails. Despite it being later November, she was wearing a red dress and a pair of shiny red leather shoes. The noise they heard was the sound of her shoes hitting the ground. Gee, ghost. A ghost. The huckster shrank back Tang Mo. But Tang Mo was also afraid. This wasn't a matter of being calm and dispassionate. What was with this special mosaic? The little girl in the red dress looked around 7 or 8 years old. She wore a delicate small skirt, small shoes, and the school bag on her back was modeled after the Disney pink Minnie Mouse. It was extremely detailed and she looked no different from a real person. It was just that her face was covered in a thick layer of mosaic. There were no eyebrows, no eyes, no nose, no mouth. Only mosaic. Tang Mo gritted his teeth and suppressed the desire to knock this girl out with the stick. Brother, have you seen my book? No matter how clear and beautiful the voice, Tang Mo could only feel horrified when he saw this face. Tang Mo stared at the girl with a cold face and didn't answer. The little girl asked again, Brother, have you seen my book? The little girl looked very weak and it should be easy for Tang Mo to subdue her. However, this place was too strange and the girl with the mosaic face clearly wasn't a real person. Tang Mo didn't dare move casually and could only cooperate. He licked his lips and tried to show a king smile. Little friend, what book are you missing? Brother, your smile is so ugly. Tang Mo, the little girl spoke. My book is gone. Brother, can you help me find it? Mother is very annoying. I hate reading but she bought me so many books. These books are ugly but mother will be very angry if I lose them. Mother will kill me if the book is gone. Brother, can you help me find the book? Tang Mo no longer made a false smile. Who is your mother? Mother is mother. Brother, you are very strange. The huckster spoke in a trembling voice from behind. If you can't find the book, your mother will kill you. Yes, mother will be very angry. Mother is terrible when angry. The huckster added, surely she wouldn't kill people. The little girl tilted her head and her right ponytail fell on her mosaic face. Tang Mo didn't know why but he felt like if it wasn't for this mosaic, the girl would be laughing right now. She looked at Tang Mo and the huckster with the dark line over her eyes. Oh, but if brother doesn't help me find the book, I will kill brother. It was like a bucket of ice water was poured over them. Tang Mo stared at the mosaic little girl with tight lips. A moment later, he asked lightly, do you remember what book it is? I'll find it for you. The little girl shook her head and her ponytail swayed. She seemed to be thinking hard. She made a sound for a long time before crying out, I can't remember. Tang Mo had long guessed that would be the answer. Suddenly, the girl hastily said, I have to go to school. The teacher will kill me if I'm late. I'll go first. Brother, you have to help me find the book. She lifted her school bag and ran into the bookshelves again. The little girl disappeared and this bizarre game officially started. Tang Mo and the huckster had originally hidden themselves behind the help desk, not going out when they talked to the girl. The moment that the little girl disappeared, the computer belonging to Tang Mo on the help desk suddenly lit up and the two people walked over. On the blue computer background, a piece of text emerged. It was obviously a diary. Tang Mo read it aloud. November 15th, clear. I lost my mother's book. Mother is going to kill me. The huckster exclaimed, it changed. The words changed. November 16th, overcast. I passed by my mother and she still doesn't know the book is gone. Where is the book? Where is the book? Mother is going to kill me. The text on the computer screen changed again. Tang Mo read it. November 17th, overcast. Mother seems to have found out. Did she find out? The words changed and he continued reading. November 18th, rain. He, mother really will kill me. Tang Mo and the huckster fell silent. Are we really going to die? The huckster muttered to himself. Tang Mo looked at the huckster. Working in the library was very boring. Every day, he had to help people. During the break, they would occasionally talk about the wonderful things they had seen today. The huckster was one of these wonderful things. He didn't seem to go to work, just coming to the library every day to read books. Xiao Zhao said that the huckster was dumped by his girlfriend and his mental state became like this. In the hearts of the staff members, the huckster was a very strange person, but also funny and pitiful. Now the huckster really looked pathetic to Tang Mo. Tang Mo looked at him with no fear. In fact, he was also afraid. However, this wasn't the time to feel fear. Tang Mo thought about it for a moment and honestly answered. Maybe we really will die. The huckster stared in despair. Tang Mo said, wait a minute, the text on the computer changed again. The mosaic girl is sensible and obedient. Tang Mo's expression twisted as he continued to read. There is only one drawback to the mosaic girl. She doesn't like reading. Her mother hates little girls who don't like to read, especially little girls who throw out their book and lie about it being stolen. However, her mother doesn't know that the mosaic girl isn't lying. She didn't throw away the book. The demon stole it. Tang Mo frowned at the word demon. The demon hates books the most. Demons are illiterate. Why should they want to read? Only those birds with wings can read. The evil demon stole the book and was discovered by the angel. He didn't burn the book and hid it secretly in a library. But the library shelves look exactly the same. After the angel left, the foolish demon couldn't find it against and let out an angry roar, this damn book. Once Tang Mo finished the paragraph, the clear child's voice rang out in the library. Ding dong. The game Who Stole My Book has officially started. During the game first, violence is prohibited. Second, angels can get information about the book in the daytime. Third, the demon can burn any bookshelf at night. Clever and kind angel, the mosaic girl will be killed by her angry mother in 3 days. Do you have the heart to watch such a lovely little girl die? Tang Mo, how was she lovely? The author has something to say. Black Tower, do you have the heart to watch such a lovely little girl die? Tang Mo, I can bear it. Haha, the first game might be a little suspense and horror, but it isn't the tone of this story. The tone is a very interesting game. Now that the game has opened, try to guess the truth of this game. 3 equals.